Man United 2, Leeds United 0. I was nervous in that game. I wasn't sure how we would perform. But actually, in the balance of it, it's another scenario where Ten Hag just finds a way, and Man United find a way to hang on in there in games and find a way to score. That's basically what it was, because actually, if we're being honest with ourselves, a lot of that performance wasn't good enough. A lot of that performance Erik Ten Hag wouldn't have been happy with. And I think a lot of that performance actually is a sign of a little bit of fatigue. I said it on the stream, like a lot of the games are just building up. And you don't want to complain about that because, like KG said in, I think, his fan view, we're supposed to be in every competition. We're supposed to be playing every 2 or 3 days. But when the squad isn't where we quite want it to be yet, and we've got some key people out, that does bear an effect on it. But also, when we just weren't at it attacking-wise, you have to be able to defend properly. And I think actually largely we did do that, even though we wasn't perfect. David De Gea had some questionable moments with the ball at his feet, especially beginning of the second half. We were particularly poor. But in the first half, I felt we had to handle the emotion. We had to handle the energy of the game and the occasion. And I think we did that. Like Leeds, they came at us a bit, but, I think we managed to defend quite doggedly. But our attacking game was just non-existent. I think actually you've got to give a bit of credit to Leeds. I think the way they set up made it really difficult for us to be able to pass between the lines. We couldn't get Fred on the ball. We couldn't get Sabitzer on the ball. They literally took out all the supply lines into our midfield by having a high front three. I think it was Somerville, Nonto and Bamford, I think, as a three, where they just literally blocked the passing lanes into Sabitzer and Fred, and we just couldn't play through that. And even on a good day, if Sabitzer and Fred have got loads of the ball, obviously it's different to Casemiro and Eriksen, so that drop-off is there. So that was an issue. And also I think in wide areas, we couldn't get Rashford into the game. You're thinking, what sort of game is this going to be for him? He's getting doubled up on. The same with Jadon. Every time he kind of got the ball, there were 1 or 2 Leeds players really engaging him. They were playing in that middle third. As soon as the ball went into the middle third, Leeds would engage us. And we just found that really difficult to create anything. But having said that, the best chance of the half, apart from the Somerville one where Malacia does quite well to put him off, to be fair. But the best chance of half for us anyway was Bruno clean through from getting the ball off of the defender, chases it himself, and he's clean through and probably should do a little bit better. And then from, I think, a resulting corner, the ball goes just wide as well from Luke Ayling, nearly an own goal. So we actually did manage to make moments, even though we weren't at our sparkling best. Wout Weghorst, I know we had a laugh about it and stuff on the stream, but couldn't get him into the game. And you know what? Look, the thing with Wout Weghorst is this. The level that Manchester United strikers should have, ideally, obviously, we wouldn't have a player like Wout Weghorst, but he's here on an emergency loan. He's here to help us out, and he's available. And you know what? I commend him today. Not just for being available, but actually managing to hang on in there and, again, play through a bad period. Just the same way that Rashford was kind of non-existent and not having a very good game. He stays tuned in mentally and gets his goal, which I'll get to. And Wout Weghorst demonstrated some of those similar capabilities. Ten Hag wants characters. He wants people who have the characteristics able to play for this football club and get us through moments. And I'm not saying longevity-wise, Wout Weghorst is the one, but he proved today that actually, if you get asked to do a different role, if the manager changes it slightly, can you go with the team and can you up the level? And he did that. So he played a part in the second goal. And actually, he wasn't fantastic in spraying balls and controlling the game when we went to a 4-4-2 or sort of a 4-4-1-1 with Weghorst just off Rashford. He wasn't doing that. But what he was doing was becoming more involved than he was in the previous 70 minutes. So you have to commend him for that. Rashford, like this, honestly, I'm just running out of words. I am running out of words because, again, I think it's actually more impressive the fact that he didn't play well for a large moment, partly because Leeds' tactics in wide areas was good, but other than that as well, getting a little bit frustrated, wasn't much quality about what he was doing. Mina touched on it as well in her views, that actually it was a bit like him away at Palace. It's just that he got the goal this time. So I agree with that. But like the celebration says, he just stays tapped in. He's going onto the pitch knowing that he's going to get a chance and he's going to score, or he's going to be able to assist or impact the game positively. Doesn't matter if he's played awful for 80, 85, 88 minutes. He doesn't care. He knows that the chance will come. And that is coming from his mentality. That is coming from his willingness to stay tuned in games. And also, it's aided by Erik Ten Hag, who continuously managed to change the game in game to the better of Manchester United. He did it in midweek when he made the changes after about 60 odd minutes, when he put Rashford up front, took off Weghorst, took off Garnacho, and brought on Pellistri and Sancho. And he did it again today when Sancho came off, Garnacho comes in. It's the same sort. And Martinez came in, and Luke Shaw went to left back, and Malacia went off. Game changed. And Luke Shaw, listen, we rave about Martinez, right? And rightly so. He has been unreal, to the point, like we've seen, Jamie Carragher's even saying sorry to the guy because he's done so well. But let's put some respect on Luke Shaw, because what's actually happening is, I know we've got the Barcelona game coming up, and you could say that Ten Hag is, trying to get ready for that, with Luke Shaw playing left centre back, and that's one side of it. But another side of it is, sometimes you could just say that tactically and for this game, he just thinks Luke Shaw's the better option to go with, because you need Malacia's tenacity in there. And when you are the big man, like, and I don't mean hypothetically, because he's not that tall, you know what I'm saying? But when you're a big man player like Martinez, you don't get dropped very often, if at all. Varane's a bit different because it's injury related. Martinez could have played today. He ain't playing against Barcelona. I think Ten Hag looked at it and thought, I need Luke Shaw here for this game, because I want Malacia in there, and Martinez will come in at the right time and change the game, which is what he did, which proves that everybody is on the same page under this manager. It's beautiful to see. And another thing about Luke Shaw, again, is his IQ. You can ask him to play centre-back, not a problem, hardly put a foot wrong. Yeah, he made one pass when they were kind of through from it. I'm not saying he was flawless the whole game, but by and large, plays well. Ask him to play centre half against Haaland at home against City, no problem, I'll lock him off. Put him in my back pocket. Need me to go left back 3/4 of the way through the game? No problem. I'll give you an assist if you want. Like, whatever Ten Hag is asking of him, he's delivering. And his mentality is actually super key. And Ten Hag, don't get it twisted, Ten Hag rates Luke Shaw, because this is not the first time we've seen him start games over Martinez, when it comes to crunch time. And like I said, Martinez ain't playing against Barcelona. So why couldn't he have played 90? It was tactical. So I rate that. Sabitzer's improving in form, and Fred, I backed him. I said in the match, in my match review after the game on Wednesday, I backed Fred to put it right at Ellen Road, and he did it. He kept fighting. He did what he needed to do. He was everywhere, and that early yellow card actually helped him settle down. I thought he was absolutely everywhere. And in these types of games, in hostile atmospheres, in derby matches, you need a man like Fred in your team, and someone like Fred. And I think in general, in my personal opinion, I think you need people like Fred in your squad at all times. You need someone like that who always puts the team first, who always puts in 100%. Yes, of course, thirdly, he might lack the quality. And, in 10 games, you'll have maybe 4 games that are like the one we saw in the previous league games. But the other 6 games will be like today, or maybe not as good as today, but he'll be a steady performer. He just gives energy, he gives desire, and he puts the team first. Those players are invaluable, and also around the squad as well. Always wants everybody to do well. If he's not in the team, there's no sulking. You never see him speaking out of term. You never see him with a bad attitude. And you need players like that. And that's why Ten Hag, is relying on him, especially because we need him, because there's no Eriksen, there's no Casemiro. You need Fred to step up and do his part, play his role. And he's done that. And he's done it today, and he's been doing that. Actually, the role that Ten Hag was finding for Fred was coming on in the last sort of 15, 20 minutes of game. And he was contributing. He was getting assists. He was getting goals from doing that when it was Eriksen and Casemiro. And now in this little period where we need some more of the squad players to step up, Harry Maguire's another one, he's doing that. And that shows that Erik Ten Hag's getting everyone to buy in. Garnacho, there was so much stupidly made of Garnacho's performance against Leeds. I was like, I didn't even know why everyone was talking about it. I didn't even see it as anything that deep. He's an 18-year-old who actually engaged Luke Ayling quite well, made a couple of bad decisions, could have got himself a goal, but the willingness to keep going and play well was there. And his performance dwindled because he's 18 and this is his breakout season and he needs loads of time to get better, to be a senior pro. Not rocket science. I don't even know why everyone was harping on about it. Then he just comes off the bench in actually what I think his best role is at this moment, which is an impact player. And more times than not, because he gets more substitute appearances than he does starts, Erik Ten Hag agrees with that well. Look what he done against Fulham when he come off the bench and scored. He's now come off the bench against Man City, got the assist. and come off the bench today and got the second goal, which effectively killed the game. What more can you ask from a kid who, started against Real Sociedad during the season, got a goal there away from home? Like, what more can you ask for a kid in his first breakout seasons? Like, everyone expects this kid to be prime Ronaldo right now, or prime flipping, I don't know, whoever right now. And that just isn't going to be the case. We need to be patient with this kid. And today proved why Erik ten Hag knows best on how to use him, and his future's bright. I don't care what anyone says. He's looking like he's got a bright future under this manager. Doesn't mean he's going to hit Mbappe levels. Doesn't mean he's going to be the next Ronaldo, next Messi. I'm not interested in that. I'm talking about being a top player for Manchester United, and he looks like he's got attributes, and time will tell. We just need to be patient. But a great finish from him as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Erik ten Hag challenged him to do that in his press conference the other day, in the post-match, in the pre-one before this, about, I think it was Neil Custis was trying to just stir up a little bit of, about the attitude. No problem. He's on the bench this game, comes on today, and has an effect on the game and sees it out for us. So big win. I'm happy with that. Roll on Barcelona. We're going to be out there, myself, KG and Josh, and it's going to be a massive game. Casemiro back in, Varane going to be back in. What's going to happen at right back? Is Diogo Dalot going to start? Is Wan-Bissaka going to start? Surely Luke Shaw will partner Varane as well at left centre back in the absence of Martinez as well. And we're probably going to go Fred and Casemiro, but a massive, massive game. There is no Anthony as well, and hopefully we can just get a positive result and bring that back to Old Trafford the week after. And just in terms of the league, at the time of me recording, City are 3-0 up, so we're no longer second anymore. But just game by game. My thing was Spurs got absolutely smashed yesterday, 4-1 at Leicester. They're fifth. I want to get further away from them and just cement top four. That's just how I'm thinking. Game by game. My man of the match, it's got to be Fred. It's got to be Fred. I thought he was absolutely excellent. He was absolutely everywhere. I'm out of here. See you in Barcelona. Peace.